And the number one thing I wish I knew going into this project. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a little bit of a different one today. Last video, we knocked out the Mustang engine, did some compression testing, but this video is gonna be a little bit different. Have you ever wished you could go back in time and give yourself some advice? Well, today we're gonna go through some tips and other things I learned while restoring my classic Mustang body. Well, some of you may say, well, duh, that's obvious, but this video is aimed towards some of the beginners like myself that had a lot of DIY experience in house stuff and automotive and wanted to jump into a bigger project. But with that, here are 5 things I wish I knew before I started the restoration on my classic car body. Coming in at number 5, there's always a ton more work to be done than you think. When you first get your car home, you're all excited to get started on it, you really need to do a deep examination into all the body panels. There's nothing worse than tearing a body panel off, going to weld in the replacement piece. The piece you're welding to is completely rusted and you're gonna have to take that off. It's kind of like working on a house. Once you start tearing it apart, you realize just how much needs to be replaced. I'm pretty sure at this point in my car restoration, the only original part of the car is the roof and the transmission tunnel. Definitely a ton of work. Don't underestimate how much you need to do. I've always heard this all over the internet, but it really is true. Try to find a car that is as clean as possible. Number 4, you are going to need a lot of specialized tools. You can definitely get the bare necessity of bodywork tools, cutoff discs, grinders, stuff like that, but you're also going to need some other tools such as a MIG welder and a high voltage outlet. Some people can get by using a 120 volt outlet, which you have around your house, but if you're doing any type of framework with really thick metal where you're welding in frame rails to a car, for example, you're going to need that extra oomph that a 220 volt outlet provides to be able to penetrate and make sure those connections and welds are strong. Along with that welder, you're going to need numerous welding clamps, magnets, and a hood to cover and protect your eyes. The other thing you're going to want is a ton of scrap metal. You're going to want extra steel plates, steel rods to strengthen the body, a lot of just extra material to weld in and patch. You're also going to need powerful drills and a ton of drill bits. I was removing the quarter panel on my old Mustang. Turns out there are 200 plus spot welds holding this quarter panel to the car. I must have gone through like 15 different drill bits drilling out all these spot welds before it eventually came off. So you definitely can't just pick something up like this and just get at it. You really need to make a list of things you're going to need to purchase, budget it out, and see if it fits within your budget and what you're hoping to accomplish by doing this project. But keep at it, eventually you will get it done and it'll pay off. Number 3, invest in some high quality personal protective equipment. Let me tell you a little story here. I was up late cutting the rocker panels off my old Mustang. I think I was doing some grinding, cleaning up the metal, getting ready to weld it, and I didn't really suspect anything else up. I was covered from head to toe in dirt. I went inside, cleaned up, went to bed, and when I woke up in the morning, I could barely open up one of my eyes. Unfortunately, I had to get off to work, and even worse, I had to fly to another state. I'm in the airport, wearing sunglasses, walking around. Next thing you know, I'm up in the air Googling for emergency rooms in El Paso where I was flying. I didn't know if it was welder flash or I got something in my eye. Right when the plane landed, I had my buddy drive me over to the eye doctor who said I had a piece of metal in my eye. It was horrible. I could barely see. It was awful. Luckily for me, the doctor I found online was super awesome. I ended up going back 3 or 4 times. They got it out. But all that to say, I was wearing safety glasses when this happened. I would highly recommend you all take care of your bodies, get some type of goggles that are closed around the side so really nothing can get in there. Between drill dust flying everywhere, metal dust flying everywhere, and even grinder discs just straight up exploding. Heck, I was welding one point and my level just lit on fire next to me. I turned around, all this black smoke, it was nasty. Also take the time to invest in a nice respirator, not just a paper mask, but a really nice respirator that keeps out all the welding dust. Your body's gonna thank you in the long run. Cover it up, keep it safe, and keep at your project. Coming in at number 2 is the price and the cost, but this is gonna be a little different than you might think. I would actually say the bodywork on an old car is actually cheaper than it's gonna cost you to replace the interior, engine, and suspension of the car. I've already got a big plan, big build out for my car, and it's gonna cost way more than I initially expected. Even cutting corners, going used, finding things on eBay, it still all adds up. But all that to say, the bodywork of the car isn't horrible. Unless you're just giving it to a shop, the labor to restore it is probably gonna be quite a bit. Now, one way you can save a lot of money is being careful how you order your body panels. A lot of the body panels are extremely large and regular shippers won't ship them. UPS, those guys, it's actually gonna be a freight shipment, which means you have to pay $200, $300, $400 for a freight ship. The key is that fee, you just pay once, right? So get all your big pieces in one big order so you can get that freight ship, pay it one time, and then it's at your doorstep. And the number one thing I wish I knew going into this project was replacement panels don't just fit on the car. You can buy 5 different brands of panel, 5 different manufacturers, and they will all fit completely different different, and none of them will fit like the original. It's pretty bad. This was a very, very big misconception I had, especially after seeing other YouTubers work on new cars where they cut the old panel off and the new one just fell into position perfectly. I've heard stories that some people have the old 1967 Ford panel molds and they'll fit as good as the original, but I never ever had that experience. Here's a picture of a rocker panel. I mounted it up to the car, and as you can see, it sticks out way past the old one off of the car. It's more reinforced, which is awesome, but it is literally impossible to find panels that fit. Some people will actually order 3 different brands of panel, try them all, see which one fits the best, but in the end, you're gonna end up having to mold, trim, and fit the panel to meet the actual application. I was under the assumption if I meticulously cut off the old panel, take the new panel, mock it up, and it would fit just like the original. That is definitely not the case. So this kind of leads me to where I am today. The body panels just didn't fit. My dad and I ended up changing out most of the car, but I ended up tapping out when it came to the quarter panels. The quarter panels I ordered were high quality, everyone recommended them, but unfortunately they just didn't fit well on the car, and I wasn't comfortable committing and welding them into place, ending up with a completed car and then just not having it work out for me. So I was extremely fortunate to find someone that lived an hour from me that has done 20+ frame-off restorations on these Mustangs. The job he does is absolutely amazing because it really is an art form. You need somebody that can mock in the new piece, trim it, cut it, bend it, and mold it to fit the car perfectly. You want those panel gaps absolutely perfect. And the other hard part is these old cars from 1967 did not roll off the assembly line completely straight with perfect gaps. They all came out looking wonky. So to make sure you have a car that's even better than factory, you really need to take your time, mock everything up, put all the panels on the car before you weld anything in to make sure all the gaps and everything look amazing. It's extremely time consuming to go at it this way, but in the end, you end up with a much better product. So that about wraps up this video. I will be getting the old Mustang back from my mechanic friend in the next month or two, and we're gonna build out the whole car on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Give this video a like if you found it helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. I'm happy to respond. And if you're starting your own project, let me know. It'd be fun to connect and talk about it. Until next time, enjoy your week, and I'll see you in the next one.